Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, today I'm going to talk about a couple of things because they just kind of hit back to back. I actually went and saw Disney's Snow White yesterday, and I was going to talk about that today. But news came out with Harry and his charity, and then Meghan and Gweneth Paltrow put out this little Instagram story that I need to talk about. So I'm going to talk about this today. So let's get into it.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
So as you can see, that was the response from Gwyneth and Meghan from all the different hate that was put out there on the internet, saying that Gwyneth was, shading Meghan when she did her post on cooking and breakfast, and she had like the little monogram on her cup of her coffee, and they were saying it was a dig at Meghan. And then also when Gwyneth spoke in Vanity Fair about not knowing Meghan, and if she could get past her security, then she would offer some pie. So things were building up around Meghan and Gwyneth going at each other. Gwyneth is just very classy, like, I'm not hating on her. I'm not hating on her and blah, blah, blah. There's enough for all of us women and blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I totally believe that is what Gwyneth is about. She's about making it look like there's no issue. There is no issue. But I also know that Gwyneth is the kind of person that would not tolerate the behavior of someone like Meghan Markle. She just would, once you got to really know Meghan, you would not tolerate that, Gwyneth. Okay? So Gwyneth, in all of her ideas of trying to capitalize on all this publicity around the back and forth of not liking Meghan, she thought, well, let me just have her over and people can see we're not beefing. Gwyneth comes out to be the good guy and squashing it. And that's what happened. Okay, now we can all say that perhaps maybe their agents had them do this so that there was no bad blood between them. And, I don't know, maybe the agent did do this, but then I thought maybe Meghan or Gwyneth did decide to do this. And it's a win-win for Meghan and it's a win-win for Gwyneth to do exactly what we just saw. However, this is the difference. And this is how you know it's not what it appears to be, which is that they are like kumbaya, friends. Okay, now Gwyneth is definitely in a position right now to get publicity from her connection to Meghan. But she hasn't been made by Meghan. Gwyneth has always been doing what she's been doing way before Meghan even came onto the scene. However, how you understand that this is not a true friendship is that Meghan has been around for a while, and we've seen Meghan gaslight her way into knowing Gwyneth, going out to eat with Gwyneth. She's done that, but it's never happened because Gwyneth came out and said, I don't know you. I don't know you. But when she got the wrath of the Sussex Squad and when she got all this hate from people, from Meghan's fans about what she was looking like she was doing towards Meghan, she wanted to just say, okay, you know what? I give up. I'm going to get some publicity out this. Come on, Meghan, let's go have some pie together, girl. Let's have some pie. Okay. However, I don't think it is what it is because, first of all, Gwyneth was never following Meghan. And I'm sure Meghan reached out to Gwyneth when she was doing her Archetypes podcast when she was on Spotify. Gwyneth is just now coming into the picture. You mean to tell me Meghan has been here for since 25 years and she's never been requested by Meghan to do anything? From all the projects that Meghan has been working on, Gwyneth has never been a part of it. I think that was intentional. I think it was intentional that Meghan or Gwyneth did not want to participate in anything with Meghan. But we saw Meghan gaslighting and always saying that she was hanging out with people like Gwyneth and showing up at that business summit thing that they had in New York. Like Meghan is always trying to be in that circle. Okay, so when Meghan's little fans came out into the picture, it got Gwyneth going, oh my gosh, what's going on with y'all haters? Okay, I'm gonna capitalize on this. And then she did what she did with Meghan. But There was nothing before that. And also, remember when Gwyneth started following As Ever New York, the clothing store in New York City that had the same name that Meghan has for her brand for As Ever? Yeah, Gwyneth followed the New York company As Ever when all that came out. She didn't follow Meghan's As Ever. And as a matter of fact, she still hasn't followed Meghan since I last looked. Maybe she will now, once it gets out, perhaps. But she's not following Meghan. There's a clear divide between Meghan and Gwyneth being friends, okay? So Gwyneth is capitalizing on all the uproar around Meghan right now and dissing Meghan so she can not be the bad guy and so she can just get people off her back. But you best be believing, folks, Gwyneth is going to dump Meghan because Gwyneth is not the kind of person to want to be in a friendship with someone like a Meghan. If you don't believe me, let's just wait and see what happens. Let's just wait and see what happens. This was a stunt. It was purely a stunt, and it was nothing more than that. It can look like, oh, we friends, girl. I like you. You love me. I love you too. You know, but that's nothing that is sustainable. It's not for real. It's not legitimate. It is very much a stunt to get people to think, yeah, go Meghan, girl, you go. You know, that is, I'm telling you, Gwyneth is the kind that does not put up with people like a Meghan. And if she does, and if she is more aligned with someone like a Meghan, then I guess we just don't know the kind of person Gwyneth is. Is she more like a Meghan Markle? Now, we've seen Meghan do a lot of things to the royal family, a lot of bad things to the royal family. It goes deep why people just don't like Meghan. Gwyneth is late to the party. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand the ruckus. But when she starts to figure it out, the kind of person Meghan really truly is, she gonna back off. Because guess what? Meghan needs Gwyneth way more than Gwyneth needs Meghan. So this is not a friendship made in heaven. And by the way, what she was eating, it looked like she was eating pie because she said, once I get past your security, I'll offer her some pie. So it looked like they were having pie. That's what it looked like on the table there. It appears to be something that it truly isn't. And I saw Dr. Shula dancing around the post and girl, go sit your butt down. You know why? Because you all doing all these things about Meghan just won over Gwyneth or Meghan has got the upper hand. She told y'all haters. What you don't seem to understand, Dr. Shola, is that Meghan is the kind of person, how she treated the royal family, you wouldn't tolerate her treating your family like the way she treated the royal family. It's all good when people are acting a certain kind of way towards those white people that you don't like, Dr. Shula, who has also, what I heard, came from some kind of royalty herself or some Nigerian royal family. I don't know the depths of it. But do you think Meghan would be tolerated had she done the same thing to Dr. Shola's family as she did to the British royal family? No. And she looks, it makes it look like it's a win. But at the end of the day, Meghan Markle is still the nasty, arrogant, know-it-all, self-indulged narcissist that we know her to be. It doesn't change anything. So Dr. Shola just looks like a complete moron, in my opinion, trying to take up for that kind of person. It's like, go check yourself and understand the kind of person you are being a cheerleader for. Because I know certainly you wouldn't tolerate it in your own family. So that tells me right there that you're not a very real, authentic kind of person to think it's okay for it to happen to the royal family, because we know it wouldn't be okay with your family. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. Now, going on to Harry, which I think this is a bigger problem for him. think has happened. I think that Dr. Chandauka has been put in a position to look the other way around some not so good dealings around the public funding that they have received, the donations that they have received. And Harry and his other trustees of this board are looking to get rid of Dr. Chandauka. And she said, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. So much so that she filed an injunction to not have to leave her position, and it was ordered by the courts that she not be let go of her position as the board chair, and to stay on board. And instead of allowing that to move forward, Harry and the other co-founder of the charity Sentible has resigned. That's what it looks like. And so Dr. Chandauka has come out with a statement. And I want to read you her statement because I think it speaks volumes to what is going on with her and why she is speaking out. She says, I chose to join Sentible first and foremost as a proud African who understands that in the spirit of Ubuntu, whom is given, much is expected. Everything I do at Sentible is in pursuit of the integrity of the organization, its mission, and the young people we serve. My actions are guided by the principles of fairness and equitable treatment for all, regardless of social status or financial means. There are people in this world who behave as though they are above the law and mistreat people, and then play the victim card and use the very press they disdain to harm people with who they have the courage to challenge their conduct. And I just want to speak on that because I think that speaks to what she has seen with Harry and Meghan. We've all seen how Meghan treated this lady, Dr. Chandauka. Her name is Sophie. How they treated Sophie, and when they were posing for a photo, and how Meghan demanded that she step aside and not let her, Dr. Chandauka, stand next to Harry. And Harry was even trying to make room for her to stand next to him, but Meghan was insisting. And I think that is a precursor to what has been going on behind the scenes, because the disrespect, regardless of who you are, you don't treat people who you deem beneath you like dirt. You don't do that. And that's exactly what I believe the doctor here is saying, Sophie. She is saying that because she's seen that happen with Harry and with Meghan. And she is refusing to step down because she knows she has a duty and a responsibility to speak the truth because of what she quoted in the beginning of this. In the spirit of Ubuntu, with to whom much is given, much is expected. And she's serving in that capacity, that she is expected to say something. She is expected to make her voice heard. They didn't like it. Harry and the other trustees didn't like it and wanted to fire her. And she was like, hold up, wait a minute, let me go get the courts on my side because I'm not going anywhere, because this is a problem. What she saw it as a problem. She saw it as, you don't do this. Why are you doing this? And she's making her voice heard. She's coming out and speaking about it. Now, I believe there's so much more to happen in terms of the things that she may have seen that have not come out yet. But clearly, she's not happy with the leadership of this charity. We've spoken about it on this channel. We've seen what a disingenuous kind of a leader Harry truly is around the case with Kiki and around the people with African parks. Like, Harry has no real plight to do the right thing. He does it for vanity reasons. It's not to actually do it for the real truthful meaning that's behind it. And I think this is what she is speaking to, Sophie. And she's speaking out against it because I think she's seen a lot of very bad, disingenuous things happen behind the scenes. And we've seen Harry and Meghan truly act like they are the victims and to want to talk about the press, but yet use the press to help them with their own victimhood narrative. This woman has seen some things, And I'm glad she spoke out. I'm going to do another video speaking more on this story, but I just wanted to give you a quick update on what has happened. I'm sure you're going to see it in other outlets as well, but this goes extremely deep to the character and leadership of Harry and Meghan, for that matter. She goes on to say, discerning readers will ask themselves, why would the chair of the board report her own trustees to the Charity Commission? Why would the High Court of England and Wales accept her application to hear the matter at all if the case had no merit? Well, because beneath all the victim narrative and fiction that has been syndicated to press is the story of a woman who dared to blow the whistle about issues of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, and bullying, harassment, misogyny, misogynoir, and the cover-up that ensued. I could be anyone. I just happen to be an educated woman who understands that the law will guide and protect me. I will say nothing further on this matter at this time. I have one job. I must focus on fundraising for the very important work of the young people who inspire the incredible team at Sentible, who make sacrifices daily at a time when geopolitics is severely impacting funding for development work in Africa. For me, this is not a vanity project, and I think that her saying that speaks to who it is a vanity project for. Who? Harry. Okay. I can resign when I am called to account. For me, this is not a vanity project for which I can resign when I am called to account. I am an African who has had the privilege of a world-class education and career. I will not be intimidated. I must stand for something. I stand for those other women who do not have the ways and means. Who was intimidated? Gweneth Paltrow was intimidated by the Sussex Swap bullies that are behind Meghan. Gweneth was intimidated. Dr. Sophie was not intimidated and will not be intimidated. There's a difference between how she's dealing with it and how Gwyneth dealt with it. Okay. I am indebted to those who have stood by me and picked up my urgent call for help so that we can continue the mission at Sentible. I will continue to faithfully perform my role as chair of the board, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with others who are interested in issues of health, wealth, and climate resilience for young people in Africa. And I just have to applaud this woman. I applaud Sophie Chandauka, Dr. Chandauka, for her stance to stand up to bullying behavior. It almost makes me wonder, why couldn't Gwyneth stand up to the bullies behind Meghan Markle? There's a difference in how women work. There's a difference in what one woman will stand for and what another woman will not stand for. And I think this right here is a clear example of the side I would be on. I would not bow down to intimidation. Some people do. We'll just see how long that friendship with Gwyneth and Meghan, the illusion of that friendship, how long it lasts and what they do together to decide and to see whether or not it truly was what they wanted us to believe it was that we saw. And as far as Harry, oh yeah, there's more to come on this story. We'll have to talk about that in another one. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.